The air over Laos in 1969 shimmered with heat and the hum of engines. American aircraft thundered through the clouds, carrying bombs meant to erase an enemy that could barely be seen. Below them lay a country that officially wasn't even part of the Vietnam War, a neutral land caught in the storm. But deep in the highlands, beyond the maps and military briefings, there was a mountain that refused to die. To the American pilots, it was just a piece of terrain, another target in the endless campaign against the North Vietnamese supply lines that snaked through the Ho Chi Minh Trail. To the local Hmong villagers, it was sacred ground. They called it Pho Bia, the mountain of the spirits. They said it was alive. That long before any soldier came, before the sound of propellers or the fall of iron, the mountain had guarded their people. And when outsiders came, French, Japanese, or American, the mountain would rise to protect its children. As the bombers approached, elders in nearby villages warned the young ones not to watch. Those who stare at the spirits in anger, one said, will see only fire. But the war did not listen. Day after day, the mountain was hit. Napalm rolled down its slopes. Artillery shattered its ridges. Helicopters hovered like insects over a sleeping god. And yet, it never broke. From the air, pilots began to whisper about it, the hill that seemed to absorb everything and still stand. Some called it cursed. Others called it protected. One pilot, years later, recalled, "We bombed that ridge until there was nothing left on the map. But when the smoke cleared, the peak was still there, untouched, like something was holding it together." Laotian guides told them why. The mountain, they said, was home to the spirits of their ancestors, warriors and kings from a forgotten age. And those spirits did not sleep through wars. They watched. They remembered. They defended. Officially, the United States was not fighting in Laos. But between 1964 and 1973, more bombs fell on this small, mountainous country than on Germany and Japan combined. Over 2 million tons of explosives were dropped, an average of one plane load every 8 minutes, for 9 years. It was called the Secret War, hidden from the world, fought in silence, and bled into the soil. For the CIA, Laos was a chessboard. They trained thousands of Hmong tribesmen to fight the communists moving down from North Vietnam. The Hmong fought fiercely, not just for politics, but for their mountains, their homes, their ancestors. Many of these fighters believed their strength came from the spirits of the land. Before battle, they lit incense and offered rice wine. They carved charms from the trees of Pho Bia's forests, believing each leaf carried a whisper from the mountain itself. American operatives thought it was superstition, something to keep morale up. But to the Hmong, it was survival. One elder said, "If the spirits leave us, we are only flesh. But when they walk with us, no bullet can find the heart." Even some American soldiers began to feel it, the strange calm that hung around the mountain, the eerie silence before ambushes, the unexplainable way the fog would move as if it knew what was coming. In field reports, pilots noted persistent radar interference over Pho Bia. Helicopters crashed there more often than anywhere else. Navigation systems went dead, compasses spun wildly. To the locals, it was simple. In early 1970, a squadron of American F-4 Phantom jets received coordinates for another bombing run over the Pho Bia region. It was routine, nothing unusual, until the lead pilot, a seasoned man named Captain Rhodes, reported something strange. "The mountain's glowing," he radioed. "Not fires, something else. Like lightning under the ground." Moments later, his signal vanished. His plane was never found. Weeks passed, and then another pilot, a friend of Rhodes, was ordered to the same sector. He hesitated. In the air, he told his wingman, "They say the mountain took him." When he returned, he refused to fly again. He said he had seen figures walking in the fog, standing on ridges no human could reach. He couldn't describe them, only that they were old. After that, rumors spread through the airbases in Thailand and Laos. Crews started calling Pho Bia, the mountain that wouldn't fall. They joked nervously that it was bulletproof. But when the weather changed, when the storms rolled in and the jungle swallowed the light, no one laughed. Even among hardened soldiers, some things were better left unspoken. Local legend tells of a Hmong unit, 50 men, who went missing on Phobia during a major offensive in 1971. Search teams found their camp, their weapons, even their food, but no bodies. It was as if they had walked into the mist and disappeared. For months afterward, villagers reported hearing drums in the night, old war drums, echoing from deep inside the mountain. One survivor, who returned years later, said, "We followed the mist. It led us up the slope, higher than we thought possible. Then the air changed, it felt heavy, like breathing stone. We heard voices, old voices. They said, 'Go back. This place is not for you.' After that, no one climbed Phobia again. Even today, many Laotians avoid its upper slopes. American satellites once photographed the summit. Strange geometric scars appeared, like terraces, though no human settlements exist there. Some say it's natural erosion. Others believe those are ancient foundations, remnants of a forgotten kingdom that once stood at the roof of Laos. To the Hmong, that kingdom never truly vanished. It simply sank into the mountain, waiting. In 1975, when the last American operatives fled Laos, the mountain stood as it always had, scarred but unbroken. The jungles regrew, the trails disappeared, but the silence remained. Decades later, unexploded bombs still litter its slopes, hidden like metal ghosts beneath the soil. But the locals say they will never go off, not there. The spirits won't allow it. In recent years, Phobia has become a restricted zone. The Lao government calls it a military area, off-limits to travelers. But satellite images show a strange phenomenon, dense fog that forms over its peak almost every evening, regardless of weather patterns. Some call it coincidence, others call it protection, and if you ask the Hmong elders who still live in the valleys below, they'll tell you a story passed down for generations. The mountain doesn't belong to men. It belongs to the spirits who remember what men forget. They say the souls of those who fought and fell, Hmong, Lao, American alike, now rest together inside the mountain. And that's why it still stands, untouched by time, unbroken by war. Because some mountains don't fall. They simply wait.